Hey everyone, so now we're in the UEFN editor, which sits on top of Unreal Engine. So if you're familiar with Unreal Engine, like here you can click this helicopter, type F, that'll focus on that object, focus on that treasure chest. You can also do Shift, Control, Alt, and take a direction. It'll, on an object like this zip line, it'll copy the zip line, then you have a new object, a new instance of that zip line where you can move it anywhere in the environment. As you can see, I'm just moving it around. I just did a Control Z to get it back to that spot. I'm trying to look for a building. There was one building that didn't have a zip line and I couldn't get up to it. So this area of the map, again, these sample maps come in with the buildings and the roads, the landscape, and the trees, and you put in the vehicles, the devices, as they say. A device, there's a few hundred devices in Unreal Engine. A device could be like a repower pad, you know, like for the gas station. It could be a power up, it could be a chug, a health chug, a med kit. Then there's weapons and vehicles. So we put that in. Right now we're trying to position this zip line, which is great. You literally just put it on the edge of a surface and it auto draws, you know, procedurally the zip line down. So you don't have to do anything else. You just drop it in and it works. So what we're trying to do is actually get the zip line up onto this roof right here. And you can see basically, I've almost got it. I want to make this game a little bit more challenging. And as you can see, we're going to take a couple of design decisions here, which will make this you know, part of the level a little bit more challenging and fun. So now I'm going to try to rotate it over to this. I want it on this edge, and I want to be able to rotate it above, so it can be right down to the street. You can see the W, E, and R keys will switch between translation, rotation, and scale. So I hit the E key right there to bring up that rotation. Now I hit W to go back to translation. There's hitting E again, trying to get right on the money. The translation, you can see right there, pulling it to the edge. You can kind of really see the Unreal Engine editor is amazing. I've built a couple of demo games in it, but with all the updates from 4.6, 4.7, all the way up to 5, it is hard to keep track. So I just started building games in this, and we're going to start implementing a couple of verse scripts because obviously dragging and dropping elements into your game is great, and they all work. I mean, it's really, you're looking at billions of dollars of assets and stuff here. People don't appreciate or know really how much time and money and talent goes into creating these worlds and the pieces of the worlds that all kind of fit together. As you can see, I'm in the Fortnite folder in the content drawer. I just pulled out a random device. This device happens to be a vending machine, which is not hooked up. I think it needs some verse code. You can see it's there's a red mark in there. It probably needs, or maybe just in the panel. I haven't explored every single item, but as you can see, we just deleted it because I don't like leaving things unfinished. I hate little one barrels because you get about 10%, I think, per barrel. So again, I'm using Shift, Control, Alt on a PC as you translate, and it copies it. So copies and translate. This one I'm just translating and try to make like sort of the bowling pin, you know, arrangement. There it is. This is identical in actual Unreal Engine. So if you're building something in Unreal, it's the same exact thing. Once you grab one of those prefabs, Shift, Control, Alt, and drag, and you get a copy right there in the same plane. So it's really easy to start setting up, for example, rows of coins or things like that. I'm going to do the same thing kind of here on the top of this building. There's a few Fortnite coins. There we go, that's enough. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm looking for just some other stuff to place, maybe that I've missed. You can see there was a werewolf in there. That's a werewolf generator. That's the only enemy we have right now. Guards are actually kind of on your side. They don't shoot you, but we have a lot of guard placements. So the guards versus the werewolves kicks off even if you're not fighting anyone in this level. This level is an Unreal Engine, battle royale. You can have up to, I believe, 100 players on this. Here we're actually dropping a dirt bike onto the roof, trying to line up the dirt bike with the edge of the railing, that white railing right there. We're seeing that, that's going to be a fun little jump. I like to make little rewards when you get up to the top of something, or you're trying to get up to that helicopter. There might even be another power up right there. So I'm going to go way out to this helicopter, which is sitting next to a floating platform. See that right there? So I'm going to make two or three more. I'm going to make 2 more platforms, and you can see that here it just snaps to 1 unit, so that's a jump unit for the character, which is great. So you never have to worry about the character not being, as long as that is 1 unit away. See, there's 2 units, you couldn't reach it, so now you have to basically I'm making this like sort of 3-step jump, putting the helicopter. Now you're like, why would this helicopter be all the way out here in the middle of the ocean? Well, there's a cannonball which you can load yourself into. You can literally shoot yourself across the map in this cannonball, which you'll see in the upcoming video. After this UEFN edit right here, again, I just click that, I hit F and then backspace. I wanted to delete it. I didn't like that bike just sitting out there. Excuse me. So there's the world. You can see it's a pretty good island, Unreal Engine, and obviously the UEFN, really the Fortnite engine is what this is. It's one of the most brilliant games ever created, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of builds. I like zero build, but this demo actually includes builds, so you can actually build sort of all you want. And we're coming to the end of this, and you can see right here coming up, we're going to be literally launching into Fortnite. Okay, see you there.
Left control temperature, warm it up. Boom. There's the whole map. Heading over here. This is a little bit more challenging here. A little bit of a platform being inside of a shooter. Let's see. Makes the player work a little bit extra. Extra, and you get the prize. See, there's a motorbike right here. Some goodies. This is always useful. And so this. So that. And that. Let's do this real quick. Check them out. here's the dirt part. Ready? Nope. No builds. Oopsie. Damn. Take it. Oh no! Buddy, what's the matter? Come on. You wanna go out? Sorry, what's the matter? What do you want? What do you want, my boy? What's your matter, Sean? You have food right there. You're negotiating now, huh? What makes you think reservation for silly jacks? Silly jack boss.
Yes.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Woo!